India is no stranger to strange rituals. The country has become home to numerous communities, tribes and religions. Over the centuries, these communities and their traditions and rituals have combined to form all kinds of odd mixtures. Some have developed unique rituals and festivals out of nowhere, and there are some traditions that remain unchanged despite the centuries. Because of this, the country now has a number of really bizarre traditions that you otherwise would not find anywhere else. But their oddness reflects the incredible diversity of India and shines some light on the kind of lives that people here live. Here are the most bizarre traditions of India that you must see to believe. 1. Dinga Ghavar. Located in the Thar Desert under the watchful ancient eyes of the towering Mehrangarh Fort, Jodhpur is a fascinating city to visit, especially during its local festival called Dinga Ghavar. The festival is actually based on the more nationally celebrated Gangaur, which starts from the first day of Chaitra following the more popular Holi. The story behind this festival is thus: the god Shiva, part of the trinity that forms the core of Hinduism, teased his wife Parvati in the form of a cobbler. Parvati, in turn, teased Shiva by taking the form of a tribal woman. On Dinga Ghavar, statues of the folk deity are placed at 11 parts of the old city. The offerings are a mix of dry fruits and cannabis called mwa, and women dress up as various gods and goddesses, tribal folk, policewomen and others, patrolling the streets to protect the deities. Unmarried men roam the streets waiting to get beaten by them, because it is said that they will get married soon if they are struck. 2. Nag Panchami. Nag Panchami is a little more popular than the festival above, and the rituals of this festival revolve around appeasing snakes. The slithering reptiles are actually an important, and positive, part of Hindu mythology. They have been portrayed as prominent characters in various legends, and Nagas or celestial beings are venerated by several sections of the Hindu community. Nag Panchami falls on the 5th day of the Shravana month of the Hindu lunar calendar, and is celebrated in Nepal as well. The festival is observed in most parts of the country, with the usual fast and prayers. Some places, however, see devotees feeding snakes milk and sometimes even rats. As part of the rituals, temple priests sprinkle flower petals and other auspicious items on the snakes. The village of Balteshwar in Maharashtra is said to host the grandest of all celebrations, supposedly with a huge group of snakes. 3. Marriage with dogs and other animals. This one is not a festival, but it is no less of a bizarre ritual conducted, to this day, in many parts of India. The more popular reason for this is that some folks are born during a particularly terrible astrological combination called Mangal Dosh. These guys, called Mangliks, are considered bad news for whoever they marry. So to get rid of the terrible fate that their spouses would be burdened with, they are made to marry an animal, usually a dog or a goat. Sometimes even a tree. After a quick prayer and offerings made to the gods, the Manglik is now free to marry whosoever he or she chooses. The marriage with animals is also done for other less common reasons, like if the girl has some facial deformation or her teeth arrive too early. Naturally, girls draw the short end of the stick here, but these rituals are thankfully getting less common these days. 4. Baby throwing or dropping. This controversial festival happens in Solapur in Maharashtra, with parents throwing their babies from a tower onto a sheet that is held by villagers. The festival is scary to say the least, but the villagers say that this ritual blesses the children with healthy lives. The government has already condemned the ritual, but you can still find local police and authorities at the event to take care of any problems. The ritual is typically done by parents who have prayed at the Baba Umar Dargah for their pregnancy, but these days it is no longer tied to a single religion. You can find Muslims and Hindus partaking in the ceremony. 5. Bhai Dooj. A less harmful festival than throwing babies willy-nilly is Bhai Dooj, also called Bhaiya Dooj. The festival is popular in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand as another version of Raksha Bandhan. It typically falls during the Diwali celebrations and sees fairly innocuous rituals like applying vermilion on the brother's forehead and performing prayers to the gods for a long and healthy life for the brother. But some parts of UP and Bihar have a different take on the festival. In many regions, sisters will spend the day cursing and abusing their brothers. The bizarre ritual can be traced back to the legend of a sister who kept cursing her brother until he got married, thus saving his life. After the day is well spent giving the choicest of bad words to their brothers, the sisters prick their tongues with the thorns of a wild fruit to atone for their sins and ask for forgiveness from their brothers. Bizarre, but at least the babies are safe. 6. Bani Festival. Every year, the Devaragada temple in Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh is host to a rather odd festival called Bani. The festival falls during the more popular Dussehra, and sees devotees hitting each other with lathis through the night. The bloody ritual starts at midnight and continues until the sun rises, and pilgrims from neighboring Karnataka and all across Andhra Pradesh come to take part and witness the act. Dussehra, as you may know, marks the end of Navratri and the victory of the goddess Durga over a demon. The Bani festival celebrates something similar. It marks the victory of Mala Maleshwara, a form of Shiva, over a demon. You can find police personnel and medical staff on standby during the festival, since injuries are obviously quite frequent. The temple's priests believe that the festival has been going on for more than a century, and spears and axes were used before they downgraded to something a bit more tame and less likely to maim others. 7. Maid Snana. One of the positive philosophies followed by the Aghorists is that they do not desire social recognition, nor do they follow the hierarchy of castes that is still prevalent in India today, blinding many people. A case in point is the practice of maid snana, observed in some Karnataka temples to this day. The practice involves lower caste folks rolling over the leftover food of higher caste Brahmins, because they believe that it's a cure of them of diseases. The practice naturally draws considerable criticism, but many still come to see the ritual as it happens. The Dalits and tribal folks have, meanwhile, spoken in support of the ritual, saying that it is not a forceful practice but one that is done with full devotion towards their gods. Maid Snana was briefly banned for a year by the government before being lifted after widespread protests. 8. Lathmar Holi. And finally, we go back to North India, specifically Uttar Pradesh. In the town of Barsana, Holi is celebrated in a very different way. As you may have guessed from the name, the festival involves hitting people with sticks. The story behind this goes back to the Hindu god Krishna, whose city Madurai lies just around 42 kilometers from the town. Krishna is said to have visited Barsana, the village of his consort Radha. As he was wont to do, Krishna mischievously teased Radha and her friends, but the women of the villagers took offense and chased him away. The practice of Lathmar Holi commemorates the story, with men from Nandgaon, the village where Krishna was raised, visiting Barsana to play the festival of colors. And in the Radharani temple of the town, women beat up the men with their sticks while others sing songs and cry in praise of Krishna. Interestingly, Barsana is home to the only temple that venerates Radha. If you thought this was unimaginable and bizarre, wait for another edition of the Crazy Rituals. There is more to come and experience. Hang in there.